Good morning, folks. Hope you all doing well today. My name is Tim Ayler, meteorologist, and we have multiple days of severe weather in store. As you can see from this 500 millibar height contours, we have different short waves moving through the flow, increasing the chance for severe weather each day and into the weekend, right? And that's what we're going to focus on. We're also going to talk about excessive rainfall as well and where that will be, potential flooding, and we'll briefly look at the extended outlook. Um, if we have time. So again, welcome to my channel. Like my video if you like it, subscribe, share with your friends, put any comments in the comments below, and appreciate y'all watching. And let's get started with, like we always do, with the current hazards. So we start the current hazards off by looking at how all the dense fog advisories we got going on here in a good portion of the United States, as well as a lot of flood warnings here where heavy rainfall continues over the same areas. You can see where the heavy precip is ongoing here, right? And into the northeast. Um, this is this is all rain out here, right? I'm not sure what these two boxes are here, but they're not supposed to be there. Um, excuse me. With some looks like a mid-level feature, bringing some elevation snow here to the Intermountain West. We have some, let's see here, winter weather advisories, maybe some snow up and freezing rain up in here in the coming days. Let me put a temperature plot up here. Yeah, right above or near freezing in these areas. And we also have a winter weather advisory, like I said, special weather statement. Looks like um, melting snow could bring some slick conditions this morning. Okay. I know this kind of clutters up the map, but I wanted to see the temperatures here. Cold temps up here in North Dakota, you see in right south of the dense fog. Red flag warnings along the front range of the Rockies. Winter weather advisories, some other wind related products here, excuse me, in parts of Nevada, California, Arizona here. Some winter storm warnings in the highest terrain in Colorado Rockies. Red flag warning in southeast Arizona. All along the California coast, you got high wind warning here. Wind gusts up to 65 miles per hour. Frost advisory here in parts of Northern California. And winter weather advisories in Oregon and Washington State here. So got a lot going on the map today. Some dense fog along the coastline here as well. Different areas in the higher terrain out in eastern Pennsylvania here. So a lot on the map today. So that's it for the current hazard. So for the short term, what do the hazards look like? This is day 3 to 7 U.S. hazards. A lot going on here, guys. The 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, all potential for heavy rain in these areas, as we'll be discussing in the forecast today. Severe weather on the 10th here. High winds the 7th, 8th, 10th, 11th here, as well as heavy precip along the northwest coast here. High wind potential in Alaska here, as well as hazardous cold and high winds in southern Alaska as well. When we go a little bit further out, the 8 to 14 day U.S. hazard potential, slight risk of excessive rainfall, heavy rain here along the northwest coast, the 12th to the 16th, and the 12th and 13th here as well. Risk of heavy snow here, the 12th to the 16th in parts of the northern Cascades, and a slight risk the 12th to the 14th in the northern Intermountain West areas here, Idaho, um, and the Montana. That stupid thing popped up on me here. All right, wind here, slight risk of high winds into the northeast, mid-Atlantic, and points west into the upper Midwest here, and into Mississippi Valley, and as well as in the Intermountain West and into southern Alaska. Risk of hazardous temperatures during this period, looking to be slight risk of below normal temperatures here in southern Alaska during this period. We have the potential in Georgia for potential record highs here, especially in Atlanta, Athens, and Columbus. Macon doesn't look like it's going to be make records, but it's going to be in the mid to upper 80s, approaching 90 degrees over the weekend. Wow. Okay, so these temperatures are way above normal, right? And if we look at the latest here, according to the European, these highs for middle Georgia won't be reached, but still it will be warm, right? So over the weekend in the 80s, right? So I mean, we're splitting hairs here. It's going to be warm regardless. But the local forecasters probably know better than this European ensemble, right? So let's just take averages. You see through Wednesday highs in the 80s, okay? And then going closer to normal, maybe slightly below normal as we get further towards, move towards the end of March here. Now, if we look at today's temperatures, mid to upper 70s in North Georgia, Central Georgia, and mid to lower 90s here in Central Georgia, pointing southward. Tonight, lows near 60, very warm overnight tonight. Tomorrow, warming up into the mid 50s in far southern Georgia, with rain chances increasing here, although not high probabilities, 40 to 60% in western Georgia. Northern Georgia highs, northeastern Georgia highs in the upper 70s at the coolest, so very warm to start the end of the week here. So when we look at the excessive rainfall outlook today, we'll look at the excessive rainfall outlook and the severe weather outlook initially here, and then we'll highlight what's going on here. So got a day one excessive rainfall outlook that's issued today. The Arkansas Red Basin area, you have a marginal risk of flooding here, parts of Oklahoma, this northwest Oklahoma City here into northern Kansas here and back towards Amarillo, I can't pronounce it. Anyway, that's the marginal risk in this area. You have another marginal risk in here along the Mississippi River up into the Ohio Valley here today as well. So quite a lot going on with excessive rainfall here. As far as severe weather, we have this large marginal risk this morning. Well, today, this morning, we're still in the initial severe weather outlook for the first part of today. Anyway, moderate risk surrounded by slight risk and a larger marginal risk going from all the way from southern Texas up into northern Iowa, parts of Nebraska, through Kansas, Oklahoma, parts of Oklahoma, and points south. The highest probabilities are here in southwest central Oklahoma and parts of the panhandle of Texas here. So when we look at the tornado outlook, we have a 5 to 9% risk of Sig 1 here in this hatched area, which is, if you looked at probabilities here, let's see here, wind, tornado, um, Sig 1, reasonable intensity up to EF2. So we could have a few strong tornadoes today with that um, in that area, although the overall percentage is pretty low here. So we look at severe winds. So we have severe winds possible here, significant severe winds. So I have to look into this again about the Sig 1 and winds here. Let's take a look here real quick. It doesn't really give um, what the actual wind speed is here, so I got to research that some more. Anyway, um, sorry, I just don't have it all memorized just yet. Anyway, that's what we got for that. All right, so moving into hail. This is Sig 1 is 2 inches or greater in diameter. I know that. And Sig 2 is 3.5 inches or greater in diameter. So I would think significant Sig 1 for wind would be 50 knots or greater. So at least that's my assumption anyway. So what you have is a 30 to 44% chance of significant hail 2 inches diameter in this red area, surrounded by a slight risk here. Still possible significant hail within that slight risk, and still the possibility of significant hail within this part of the marginal risk, the 5 to 14% risk as well. So um, potential is for a lot of significant weather today, severe wise. So looking at the HRRR, right, and this is the severe risk going on this morning. This is 10 UTC 5 6. Okay, so we're getting into the time frame of the next severe weather period here. Ongoing heavy rain up to the north here. Maybe some frozen precip here along the Great Lakes. We'll have to see here how that plays out. But yeah, so and we have some snow here on the backside of where the surface low is developing on the front range of the Rockies, right? Not really the front range, the interior Rockies. A lot to talk about today, guys. You got to give me a little grace with this. It's a severe weather season ramping up, and I'm trying to articulate this the best I can here. So, putting this all together at 4 a.m. is rough sometimes. So, um, convection looks to initiate maybe south in the southern Texas here in the marginal risk, and also within this this region here in the middle here, pretty late at night tonight. And then up to the north here, we got the surface low developing and some frozen precip developing on the northern edge of this. Storms along the Gulf Coast and in Florida as well, up in parts of the southeast maybe as well today. So, yeah, so the greatest chance for the highest severe chances are here in this orange area today, right? We talked about that going overnight tonight, and that moves eastward, right? And then you have on the northern edge of this some overrunning type precip. Let's switch to temperatures here. You can see where the warmest temperatures are if we put it through the today, right? Warming up 60s and 70s all the way up into South Dakota here with cold air hanging on in the northern tier of the U.S. Approaching 70s and 80s down here in the south. This is 6 p.m. Cools off overnight tonight until tomorrow. Looks like we have a dry line right here with some lower dew points. You see the dry line right here where that is. High dew points still in most of the southern part of the U.S. Going to be very soupy out there today into tomorrow. So for tomorrow, as severe threat moves to the east, so does the excessive rainfall here. We have a slight risk of excessive rainfall within 25 miles of a point, generally from Dallas all the way up to the west of Little Rock and towards southeastern Oklahoma. The larger marginal risk going all the way down to near Austin, to near Norman, up into the let's see, Arkansas here, and into parts of Missouri as well. So adding insult to injury here with severe weather. Here's your severe weather outlook for tomorrow. You see this large enhanced risk here. I wonder if it might go moderate depending if it keeps uptrending or not, or what happens, but we'll keep an eye on that today. Larger slight risk here and a larger marginal risk going all the way up in the upper Midwest and parts of southern Texas. And we have a probability of tornado is pretty high here tomorrow, especially in the yellow area. I mean, it's still a slight risk, but SIG 1, which means um, up to EF2 is the most probable, okay, which is considered a significant tornado, okay? So you see the low probabilities here further out, but you still have a chance of a strong tornado in this area, although less of a chance, right? So what this kind of translates to in my mind is, 15% chance, 10 to 50% chance of EF2, or up to EF2 in the slight risk, right? So as you move further away, on the edge especially, less likelihood here. So that's that. Severe wind outlook, still only SIG 1 here. So, but higher probabilities of significant winds up here in the parts of Oklahoma, Kansas, and Missouri, and a slight risk of those significant Sig 1 significant winds here in in a large area, right? And it also goes into the brown area here with lesser probability. So I'll have to look this up, like I said, about the Sig 1, what that means for winds, what they're defining that as, okay? So conditional probabilities here. So we look at hail, more or less the same thing here. If we compare it to tornado, severe wind, hail actually encompasses this whole area with significant hail up to 2 inches in diameter through this whole area. So with the highest probabilities in the middle here, slight risk surrounding it, and right on the edge of it, especially the northern part of this, not as likely to have um, hail and likely only be 1 inch in diameter. Okay, so that's that. As we move through time here into the into Friday, showers and storms are ongoing here as we get into that time frame. Got some storms here in uh, Friday morning, swinging through parts of the Central Plains, and heavy rain on the north side of it, with some snow on the backside. These surface low here, and then more convection develops in the southern part of this area and on the northern edge here, and snow and freezing rain on the backside. Okay, this is 1800. Now we really see some development of convection here as well, at least according to the HRR, although I know I'm not zoomed in here, but there's a lot to put on the map here. You see where the surface low is here. I would say that's probably the best chance of convection here with a, looks like a cold front. This elongated surface low could be problematic, but we also have showers and storms in the southeast here bubbling up. And like I said, snow on the backside of this surface low as it moves to the northeast, right? Late tonight, these storms, looks like a line pushes through the upper Midwest. Another line of storms further into, with this cold front pushing through, looks like, our boundaries into parts of central Kansas as well. This is overnight, right? All these storms move through, and maybe another line developing further south here. This is mostly an overnight event, but any storms that fire ahead of that line could potentially be some nasty ones. So we'll have to see what happens with that. And this is into 6Z on Saturday. So that's it for that. So our temperatures go 60s and 50s, pushing way to the north here on Friday. 70s, 80s at points southward here. You see where the boundary is, and a cold front up into the northwest here as well, pushing to the east, right? The surface low develops along the cold front, moves to the north, and that cold front slows down some here. You can see the push of drier, cooler air to the southeast here. You see the dew points, especially on the southern edge of this. Looks like a dry line here setting up in this area, and a boundary also here in parts of Texas with that. So you might see something going on here with these kinks in the line here as well. So, but from what you can see with the dew points, you see how moist the atmosphere here is going all the way up into the Midwest. So the exception may be up into the Northeast. Temperatures still remaining coolish, I guess, with the CAD wedge staying firmly in place here, at least for another few days, um, as we get into Saturday. So as we go into Saturday, we have a broad marginal risk of excessive rainfall stretching from southwestern central Texas here, and towards Shreveport, Memphis, Jackson, and up to near Huntsville, Alabama, just to the west of Chattanooga, right? So still the potential for flooding rain here in this area, and with severe weather as well to the north here. So boundary setting up here, which, you know, it's feast or famine in the south here. Either we get heavy rain or we don't. So I guess we'll take it for now. So here's your severe weather outlook for Saturday, right? We have this slight risk down here in southern Texas where that boundary's setting up here, where the flooding rain potential is as well, and up here in the upper Midwest and the Northeast, Mid-Atlantic, I guess you could say, right? Larger marginal risk surrounding it. I think this is mostly going to be a wind risk, maybe some tornadoes as we get short waves moving through the flow here, potentially enhancing the rainfall and other things. But likely focused here in the slight risk areas, especially, right? And here's the probabilistic, at least right now, not showing any significant probabilities here. That could change as we get further into the period here. So, as we get closer to the event, let's just say. Now that we're in the extended, we got to use a global model here. The GFS is showing showers and storms here into Saturday, all the way east of this boundary, wherever this boundary setting up. Okay, so the southern edge of it, especially, and the northern edge could have severe weather, but also in the marginal risk area, heavy rainfall, like we talked about in the south. See, maybe some forcing going on here as well. Um, see, like a maybe even a surface low developing here on the southern edge of this. We'll have to watch that. Okay. And we get further out into Sunday into Monday, becomes less certain, right? But if you look at relative vorticity here, uh, if you look at this here, you can see where generally there's some in the boundary where some forcing is going on here, right? Um, and you have this mid-level feature in the flow here, just kind of cut off for a little while. You have a short wave move through the flow here, another short wave here. This is into Sunday. Short wave moving through the upper Midwest and also in the central U.S. as well. So this could potentially be a focus for um, severe weather here as well. So we look at temperatures here. Let's look at temperatures at the surface. Come on here. All right, temperature. All right. It's loading. Okay. So going back with this, kind of glitching out on me. It hasn't all loaded yet. So yeah, so we're moving through. It looks like a surface low maybe developing here, or a high pressure actually. Right. Warm temps in the south really only here as we get into Monday, into Tuesday. Warm temps pushing way up to the north again here, guys. So, and we go back to the upper levels. That feature we're talking about finally ejects right to Wednesday, and that's what's going to be driving our severe threat into next week, and we'll detail that next. Yeah, so as far as the extended with severe weather, it looks like the only day that is on the books, at least right now, is the 10th, Tuesday, March 10th. Although the potential exists, I think he's J for severe weather, and that may change in the coming days with the forecast. But so Sunday, Monday, don't have anything um, on the risk area here. So if we go back, we can look at this real quick. Um, yeah, we don't have it on this map. Anyway, uh, that's what it is day 4 through 8. As of right now, the severe weather slight risk is outlined. If we go back here, this, go back, you can see Sunday, Monday, nothing on the map here right now. And then into Wednesday, not anything either. So we also have a fire risk in the coming days as well. So as we get into next week, we continue with excessive rainfall potential here in southern Texas. parts of Mississippi and Oklahoma, not Oklahoma, and Mississippi and Louisiana here. All right. Then we go into Monday. That excessive rainfall outlook continues here in parts of San Antonio area, San Angelo, Fort Worth, Dallas, and as well as a small sliver of Oklahoma here, as well as Missouri. Okay, but mostly focused in Texas for heavy rainfall on Monday. And you can see why, because the GFS shows persistent showers and storms here along the Gulf Coast into Monday morning, without continuing, right? And then going into Tuesday into Wednesday, you can see where it's showing more severe storms here. A surface low developing on the front range of the Rockies here, right? So it's important to note where the surface low ends up going. It brings a surface low down here into Texas. So another one developing up to the north here with maybe some heavy rain, heavy snow way up into northern New England, ice and frozen precip in this area. Heavy rainfall potential up in the upper Midwest as well. So um, now this is where we left off, right? So let's look at the severe threat for Wednesday here. As far as temperatures in the longer term for the continental U.S., what the expectation is for near normal to above in most of the U.S., with the exception of the northwestern U.S., the northern high plains here. As you get a little bit further out in time, trough digs in towards the eastern U.S., potentially here, with near normal to below normal temps building in the Midwest, with a ridge building out west here, and maybe you cooling off slightly here in the southeast. All right, Alaska and Hawaii look to be above normal during this period, right? So as precip goes, southwestern part of the country below normal precip chances, above in the northwest and above in the Midwest here, March 10th through the 14th. Near normal to below in Alaska, above in Hawaii, right? And precip chances look to be, say, below normal out west here, and generally east of the Rockies, above normal precip chances with the highest probabilities in the northeast mid-Atlantic, Alaska above near normal below, and Hawaii above normal as well. So we certainly have a lot going on in the coming days, much less the warm temperatures and severe weather, excessive rainfall as well. In the longer term, maybe a little bit of a cool down in the northeast and points to the west here. You can see the cooler temperatures maybe trying to make inroads here, but not expecting a major press of colder air. But we could see that change in the coming days. We'll let y'all know how that evolves. But I appreciate y'all watching, and thanks for choosing me to be your forecaster here. I know there's a lot of people competing for this space out there. I'm just here to convey what I know best and what I love. So hope you all enjoyed it. Have a great day. God bless.